You're watching News 9 Live. I'm Krishna Kumar and I'm being joined by my colleague Sudha Sadanand in the studio. I'm going to continue to discuss Karnataka, the state of Karnataka, what's going on over there. Let's continue. As it looks to consolidate its hold in Karnataka, with the state heading to elections just weeks from now, the BJP has a lot to smile about. Its recent gambit of tweaking the state of Karnataka's reservation matrix promises to be a well thought out decision. And many analysts are predicting a massive surge of votes in the Saffron Party's favor. However, what could impact the BJP's calculations in Karnataka could be Tamil Nadu Chief Minister M.K. Stalin, who has freshly waded into the reservation debate. Last night, the DMK Supremo demonstrated his organizational prowess by being able to gather senior leaders from as many as 20 opposition parties in New Delhi for his platform, the All India Social Justice Forum, which at the outset insists on a non-political agenda. But more than the event, it was the sharp commentary offered by Mr. Stalin, particularly on the changes made by the BJP to the reservation policies in the state of Karnataka. Let's first listen into that.
The struggle for attainment of social justice is not an issue of a single state. It is not an issue of a set of a few states. It is an issue concerning all states, and it is associated with the structure of Indian society. There might be differences in the degree of problems along caste and class lines in each state. But the core of the issue is the same. That is gross discrimination. Wherever there is discrimination, exclusion, untouchability, slavery, injustice, the medicine that can cure up these poisons is social justice. Like how the toxin of the snake is treated with antitoxin prepared with the same snake toxin. People discriminated by caste are uplifted by the same caste. That is the social justice ideal of reservations. இந்த சமூக நீதி கருத்தியலும் யார் எந்த நோக்கத்துக்காக பயன்படுத்துகிறார் என்பதை பொறுத்து அதன் வெற்றியும் பலனும் இருக்கும். சமூக ரீதியாக, கல்வி ரீதியாக புறக்கணிக்கப்பட்டவர்களை கைதூக்கி விடுவதுதான் சமூக நீதி.
Right, now with the BJP looking forward to a positive outcome in the state of Karnataka with its changes to the reservation matrix and the Congress party's internal rebellion raging on, it remains to be seen whether Stalin's remarks could yet dent their prospects. Furthermore, anti-incumbency is said to be casting a lingering shadow on the BJP. So let's understand what's going to happen. And we're being joined by my colleague Sudha Sadanand in the studio here in News 9. Let me begin with her and then we take this across to our colleagues joining us on Zoom. I'm going to ask you one thing. This quota politics and M.K. Stalin making that statement in such clear, legible English, it's very important, but do you really think that, that could impact the chances of the BJP in Karnataka?
Well, I don't think so, because, although M.K. Stalin as well as his predecessors, particularly Dravida Munnetra Kazhagam, they've always spoken about Samatavam, which is social justice.
Yeah, that's the bedrock, the bedrock of the Dravidian movement.
Yes. What Stalin basically is saying that he is all for social justice and he does not believe that reservation should be based on the economic criteria. Yeah. And he has a logic there. But it is stretching it too far because, there are two things. People will say that, look, it's not as if the DMK does not win elections based on caste. Although they talk about Samatavam, if you look at even caste wars and you look at caste violence, it's surging in Tamil Nadu. Now, coming to the point that you asked me, Krishna, I don't think that it is really going to impact because I think Bombay is playing a very, very clever game by segregating the reservation amongst the Lingayats and other castes, taking it from the minority community just before the election so that, there could be a balancing act. I feel Stalin's statement ain't going to cut any ice in Karnataka.
All right. Let's talk to some people from Karnataka. For that, we have B.S. Arun, senior journalist, joining us, as well as Mahesh Chitnis. Let me take this first across to Mr. B.S. Arun, and then I'll go to Mahesh. Mr. B.S. Arun, there has been a significant shift in the reservation matrix of the state of Karnataka, which has resulted in even protests. We've seen the Banjara community protest outside B.S. Yediyurappa's house also. Lots of has happened, and then now you have M.K. Stalin wading into this debate. In fact, saying the changes to the reservation matrix in Karnataka are disastrous, at least according to the DMK Supremo.
First of all, I agree with your colleague Sudha about Stalin's statement not having any impact in Karnataka. Karnataka elections in the assembly are mainly fought on local issues, and they don't bother much about who says what,
But do you think that the way the reservation matrix has changed, do you think that that is helping the BJP fight the anti-incumbency shadow that's lingering upon it?
I'm coming to that. See, as far as the quota issue is concerned, there are a few points here. Number one, it was because of BJP sort of having a back foot in the campaign, in the perception of the people, the anti-incumbency. All these factors perhaps made Bommai and his colleagues to think of this avenue, especially more so because there was a protest by what is called Panchamsali Lingayats, a powerful sect within the Lingayats, and Lingayats are the core vote base of the BJP. So they were protesting, demanding a separate quota for themselves. Now, Bommai, having got a court order vacating an earlier case, vacating the case of an earlier petition, so he had his hands free, and he waded into this issue, and it was a sort of an advantage BJP at that point, as he gave, number one, internal reservation to the scheduled castes, number two, 2% increase for the Wakaligas and the Lingayats, and then a separate, the number three was he removed Muslims from a reserved category and put them into economically EWS, economically weaker sections, which carried a 10% quota. So now, with this, it was thought that it was in sort of an Chanakya stroke by Bommai. But then, what happened was, as you mentioned, there were protests from two different groups. One from the Banjaras, who were part of the group Untouchables, and they feared that number one, their the total number of total percentage for them being 4.5 is lesser than what they had earlier got, and number two, if this continues, they felt that being touchables, they may be removed from the scheduled caste group itself. So they went on protest in different parts of the state, including, as you mentioned, in Shikaripura, the home constituency of Yediyurappa, former chief minister and the BJP strong man, and threw stones on his house. Not just this, the protests are continuing even today, in different parts of the state, in different regions. So that's a cause for concern for the BJP, because these touchables include 4 different groups. One is Banjaras, the other is Bovis, number 3 is Koracha, and number 4 is Korama. So these are the 4 different sects within the touchable group. So this is on the one side. On the other side, it is the Muslims. BJP may not bother much about this, because they feel that it is not their core vote bank. I mean, hardly Muslims vote for BJP. So they are also on protest, but we are not seeing much of the Muslim protests over the last few days. They protested once or twice. And now coming to, the BJP itself, how well the BJP will ensure that the protest is not intensified in the state, and that it doesn't turn into violent protest. So Bommai has to treat very carefully in
Bommai
this.
has to tread very carefully.
And number 2,
right?
Yeah.
Please go ahead.
And number 2 for Congress. If you ask me about Congress, then there is a sort of a complicated thing here. the issue has already been the proposal has already been sent to the center, because center has to bring it before parliament. Parliament has to approve this, and it has to be made into a constitution amendment, and then it has to be included in the ninth schedule of the constitution, so that it's taken out of the purview of the courts. So I think parliament its session is ending any day this week. So I don't think that will happen. So this is on the one side. On the other, it is somebody or the other will go to the court. It may be questioned in the Supreme Court, and will it stand the scrutiny, the test of law? That remains to be seen. So these are the issues, on the one hand. And for Congress, how well Congress will convince the people about all these intricacies that are involved. Number one, to say that it's just a proposal, it's just a election-related propagandic announcement by the BJP. And number three, and I feel more important, is that the Congress party has said that it will reverse this once it comes to power. Suppose this becomes a law, and then there is no question of reversing it. And number two, even if it doesn't, can something that has already been given, say 2% to the Lingayats and 2% to the Vokkaligas, can it be reversed? It's very difficult politically. We all know that anything that's given in India, especially reservation, cannot be taken back. It's very difficult to be taken back, because you will antagonize these communities. So Congress also, in a way, is treating on a sticky wicket.
Right. Congress also on a sticky wicket. Let me take this across to Arun Sundaram, who continues to be with us. Arun Sundaram, talk to us. Right, we have Mahesh Chitnis, in fact, joining us. Mahesh Chitnis, talk to us, in terms of the change in the reservation matrix and its impact on BJP's chances, in these elections. Do you think that master stroke, if I might to call it, is helping mitigate the anti-incumbency factor for the BJP in Karnataka?
I think that is one of the reasons the BJP tried to introduce this caste, reservation system. See, one thing we need to understand here is Panchamsalis have been intensified their protests since 2020, especially when Yediyurappa came back to power in 2019. But despite several assurances, there were no on ground any improvement or any promise or fulfillment of promises. But later, when Bommai took over, he had promised them increase in reservation. And in last year, December, Bommai tested waters by giving them 2C and 2D. 2C for Vokkaligas and 2D for Lingayats, and without changing the reservation matrix. So the BJP thought that, okay, if you give it, if you bring into the OBC and bring into the category 2, they might leave the protest and at least until the elections are over. But that was not the scene. Panchamsali Sir Jai Mrityunjay Swamiji started his protest in January and even wrote to Prime Minister Narendra Modi saying that we don't have confidence in either B.S. Yediyurappa or Basavaraj Bommai, and sought his intervention. And according to the BJP Vijaypura MLA, who is also a Panchamsali leader, he said that Amit Shah held 2 rounds of meetings with him. So was JP Nadda, and after 15 days or so of meeting, finally this arrangement had took place, where 2B reservation of Muslims of 4% was taken away and was divided between Vokkaligas and Panchamsalis. So Panchamsali and Lingayats are traditional voters of the BJP, and it was important for the BJP to keep them happy, and that they did not want to upset them when they needed them the most. So I think this will help them in upcoming elections. But it will be interesting to see how they try and convince people, send a message that it's a boon for them and not a bane.
Right. The convincing people is a very important part, isn't it, Sudha, that Mahesh is talking about. What is changed is good for the people, because it is yet to play out. It is a proposal that has been put out by the BJP, and they have to now convince people that that's the best solution available for the state.
You know, one thing is there that the Lingayat, I beg your pardon, Lingayat religious leaders, the Mutts, play a very, very important role in Karnataka. We've seen lots of leaders going there and paying their respects. Also, Rahul Gandhi also, you know, at one point went and, you know, spoke to one of the Mutt leaders. Now, the point is that people may think that Bommai is doing this as cosmetic surgery, you know, as a last minute ditch effort to kind of see that he can get these two communities on his side. But the point is that, you know, make no mistake, because I think the Panchamashali as well as the Lingayat, the community as a whole, they've said it time and time again that this is not enough. And they have no, I mean, I would like to say that, you know, at least they would have had more faith in and you know, the belief in Yadurappa than Bommai. Bommai is somebody they always thought was a poor kind of replacement for BSY. So as of now, I don't think that it is going to make a major difference. Another thing which, you know, one of our guests made a very, very relevant point is you give reservation. How do you take it back? How do you explain it? Because Krishna, it is not just the Banjaras, but we have seen for the past 2 years since Bombay took over, the Maharashtrians, the Reddys, the Anglo-Indians, everyone has been protesting in Karnataka. So this is a very dangerous game that Mr. Baswaraj Bommai has waded into.
A dangerous game. If I were to ask B.S. Arun that, you know, there is the question here is that yes, it could be a master stroke when it comes to, you know, getting the right vote bank who's going to vote for you. But it could create, but there are larger issues at play for across communities.
Yes, yes, that's true. In fact, if you just give me a minute, you know, even this within the Panchamsali Lingayats, we saw yesterday protest from in different parts of the state. There are already two groups within the Panchamsali Lingayats, and one group is you know, sort of supporting Bommai, and the other group, which is led by Vinay Kulkarni, a Congress leader of the you know, Dharwad Hubli side, and he is opposing with a substantial number of his followers and in different parts of the state. So even the Panchamsali Lingayats, whom everybody thought, you know, are closely in consolidation with the BJP, are now opposing, part of them are opposing it. So this is a you know, this could result in a sort of a setback to Bommai and to the BJP. As regards you know, the other wider spectrum of the society in Karnataka, yes, the reservation affects nearly everybody, almost the entire population of any state. So here too, you know, the latest you know, move by Bommai and the state government, it has affected a large section of people, and that's why we are seeing protests in different you know, in different communities, and
Right.
there are you know, the two and pro and anti statements, different parties making you know, taking a stand on this. So it's going to be you know, hot topic, maybe a hot potato for some parties.
All right.
So you know, like say the Muslims, which way they will vote, whether it's for Congress or even for SDPI, these are the issues which might trigger out of the reservation issue.
If I were to quickly ask you for a hot take on, you know, what is the ground situation in Karnataka? Is there enough anti-incumbency, or is it difficult to tell with about, you know, 45 days to go for the elections?
It's a bit difficult to say, but then, you know, Karnataka has not returned the same party government to power ever since 1985, when Hegde came, Ramakrishna Hegde came back to power. So there is sort of history going against BJP here. They have to overcome this and then, you know, ensure that various other factors like, you know, the programs that it has supposedly given, the charisma of Narendra Modi, you know, and many other factors, and the total support of the Lingayats, besides the other parties, the support base in different regions of Karnataka, as we all know that, you know, the old Mysore region, which is a strong belt of the Janata Dal S, where the predominant voters are the Vokaligas. You know, regions like this also have a huge role to play in ensuring or dismantling the BJP from power. It is going to be a big question, how especially the anti-incumbency factor works, and that would be a major factor in defeat or in the victory of the BJP.
Mahesh Chitnis, if I were to ask you the same question, in this BJP, as B.S. Arun is telling us, has to do the what history has taught us so far. They have to beat history to form the government again in Karnataka.
Yeah, of course. As Arun said, no government has returned to power since 1985. So BJP is doing everything possible to return to it. So one thing we need to understand behind this quota dynamics is SC/ST population in Karnataka is around 18% and OBC is around 35%. And these SC/STs were majorly vote bank of Congress and a little bit of JDS. So BJP had only a minor vote share. So they had to do something to get a pie of that particular share. So they have orchestrated this formula and hoping that it will work. It will be interesting to see how the party will be communicating to the cadre level and then towards the voters. But yeah, of course, they have played a big game here. We'll have to wait and watch how much successful it will be in the coming days.
Right. I mean, it back to Sudha Sadanand, who continues to be with us today. Sudha, I keep asking this question simply because the BJP, you've seen the central leadership take so much interest in the run up to the election, be it the Prime Minister's presence or the Home Minister's presence. And we've seen the Congress top leadership take so much interest in the Karnataka state because it's a high stakes game, let's face it, between the BJP and the Congress party. And for the BJP to win this contest, it has to beat history. Strangely, like Tamil Nadu, Karnataka also has never returned the government, except that Tamil Nadu played it within the Dravidian parties. The Karnataka kept it between the Congress and the BJP.
I think the larger question is that in the south, BJP, the Karnataka is the only state which has a BJP government.
Correct.
And for them, it's a very big deal. I mean, if you look at Pinarayi, look at Tamil Nadu, Telangana, nowhere. So I think it's a very big deal. And somehow the south, save Karnataka, they have been up in arms so far as the central dispensation is concerned. They're talking about federalism. I mean, whether it is KCR Garu or whether it is, Mukha Stalin, they've always spoken about it and they are very shrill and strident. So yes, for the BJP, winning Karnataka is an extremely important issue because below the Vindhyas, I think that's the only bastion that they have. And traditionally, they feel that this is one thing they need to expand to other states. They're trying their level best in Kerala. I don't think anything will come to fruition, neither in Tamil Nadu. But there's another message in this which I see. The larger message is that by taking away the reservation from the Muslims, from the minority community, and basing the reservation on, economically weaker sections, I think it's good for the overall branding of the BJP because I think they can run with it. I mean, with omitting chapters on the Mughals in NCRT class 12 as far as doing this, I think their larger brand of what they are doing, this may get a major fillip, but in the context of Karnataka, so far as it's concerned, Southern India, yes, which is a very different ballgame when it comes to rest of India, like we are. I mean, West is different from the East and so on and so forth.
Yeah.
I think the BJP this time is struggling and it's very, very clear, Krishna.
Very, very clear. There's a word coming from Sudha Sadanand there. Sudha, thank you so much for joining us on this discussion. And thank you, senior journalist B.S. Arun and Mahesh Chitnis of News 9, both of you gentlemen, for joining us live from Karnataka with the latest on the politics of Karnataka. And with that, we've completely run out of time here on this discussion. Thank you so much for watching. This is Krishna Kumar signing off. Keep it with News 9.